Iwan ka te wantintikmati, ina soteot qualos, ina nosotlalolinis, ina nosotik te mictisque, tlein ik shinis imoyawas taltepeu, tlein ki toa piltontli, ma ki to melawak. Since ancient times, the native civilizations of Mesoamerica believed that eclipses were terrible omens, signs with worldwide weight. In this video, we'll explore eclipse beliefs of the Maya and Aztecs from ancient times to the present day. I witnessed my first solar eclipse in Querétaro, Mexico in 1991. I wasn't prepared for the disorienting effect of sudden nightfall, the stars alit after but moments of blue sky. Such experiences must have profoundly impressed the old Mesoamerican civilizations, which already had elaborate systems for interpreting such celestial collisions. This was an especially consequential visit to Mexico, as during then I was independently decoding the number and glyph sequence of the 52-year Aztec count, toward a clearer understanding of the mathematics of the sacred calendar. During this same travel, I also went to Tula, the most famous site of the ancient Toltec. The eclipse was part of my larger immersion into the world of the ancient Mesoamericans as they experienced it. To the Maya, Aztecs, and many other indigenous cultures of Mesoamerica, the eclipse was the celestial object being literally eaten away. In Yucatec Mayan, the terms are Huchim, bite of the sun, and Huchim, bite of the moon. Likewise, in Nahuatl, they are Tonatiuh, the sun is eaten, and Metztli, the moon is eaten. Maya folklore speaks of ants devouring their heavenly body, and in Veracruz, Aztec villagers told me of a dark, monstrous bird like a vulture that consumes the sun or moon. These modern expressions come from native myths passed down since centuries ago. The Maya had the most precisely defined lunar cycle in the ancient New World. One estimate gave it accuracy to within a minute. And no other artifact better illustrates this claim than the Dresden Codex, one of 4 surviving ritual manuals from before the conquest. Written in hieroglyphs with companion images, the Dresden Codex's 8-page eclipse table is culminated from centuries of sky watching to track the movements of the sun, moon, planets, and stars. For over a century, scholars have studied this enigmatic table, each time bringing in newer models for translating the Mayan hieroglyphs and visualizing the ancient skies. John Justeson's 2017 study of the Dresden Codex's eclipse table argues that it was predicting solar eclipses instead of lunar, as it referred to patterns called eclipse families. So why did Maya priests invest so much effort to tracking eclipses? We should look to the so-called eclipse glyph, which frequents these pages. Notice the flaring dark and light bands that flank the central sun element. Bruce Love points out that the Yi-King glyph actually connotes a darkened sky, accompanied by rain, and also that all the texts around this glyph in the eclipse table are indeed concerned with rainfall that the Maya depended on for agriculture. The Maya therefore believed that eclipse cycles were useful for predicting rain patterns that would sustain the people and their society. The Aztecs, on the other hand, had no such rigorously catalogued tables with which to predict a solar eclipse, yet they regarded it in the worst possible light. As implied at the beginning of this video, solar eclipses were portents of great doom for a culture already obsessed with protecting the world from final destruction. Mexica accounts warn that the tzitzimit, demonic spirits of women who died giving birth, would then swoop to afflict people with illness and death. Children would also transform into mice. Even lunar eclipses were dangerous cosmic events to the Aztecs of then and now. From old to modern times, the lunar eclipse was a particular menace to pregnant women, who risked giving their child a hair lip, perhaps a reference to the rabbit image outlined in the moon's gray space. In a Veracruz village, an Aztec woman told me that one pregnant should wear a red sash like a belt if they would venture out by lunar eclipse night, to prevent or at least mitigate such risk. This custom dates to the Mexica since before the conquest. The Mexica also said women could wear obsidian over their chest to ward off negative effects from the lunar eclipse. Even beneath the dread of a blackened sky, the Aztecs have long held that we were equipped with even simple magic to shield against cosmic calamity. These examples show how solar and lunar eclipses were moments in space-time inviting a convergence of diverse supernatural influences, bringing us to today's mask. Today's mask returns us to the conclusion of the eclipse table in the Dresden Codex, from the Maya of the 15th century. Here we find a god masked with the Mayan glyph for Venus, its sharp light radiating into a cross. Notice that the body is pointing downward, a posture resembling the so-called Maya diver gods descending from the sky to touch the earth. In this case, the figure represents Venus as evening star, starting its 8 days above the horizon before plunging into the underworld. Its presence in the table recalls that the solar eclipse was just one celestial movement amidst a conjunction of many, bringing winds of change or rains of hope. The Maya and Aztec views challenge us to reflect on the many events in motion around us during an eclipse. Thinking of the choices we make to follow the heaven's natural rhythms gives us the original Latin meaning for consider. Please like, share, and subscribe to the Eye of the Serpent channel. Your support goes toward travel, research, and production. Thank you for watching, and good roads.